On a recent episode of SmackDown Live on the 7th of November 2017, Sami Zayn went one-on-one with Kofi Kingston in a match that ended in an awkward conclusion. The match finish saw Zayn lose after Kingston caught him off guard with a crossbody pin combination. Even as a heel, Sami Zayn is still booked to lose.
Oh my goodness. You're right.
I was just pointing out.
Thank you. Thank you for helping open my eyes.
You're welcome, I guess. I don't know if Owens was supposed to break up the pin or what, but what is clear is that Owens and Zayn were supposed to feed for the New Day after their attack on Kofi. In other words, Owens and Zayn, the heels, were supposed to take a beating by the New Day, the babyfaces, in order to make them look strong. However, Owens and Zayn just thought, nah, I'm out of here, and fled the ring.
This I'm out.
Xavier Woods and Big E were not impressed, that's for sure. You could argue that Owens and Zayn were just doing their jobs as heels, but since they went against a creative directive and conducted business for themselves, consequences followed. Owens and Zayn were sent back home for unprofessional conduct and missed the rest of the WWE European tour, a decision that was approved by the chairman, Vince McMahon. Maybe Vince was still hurt from the headbutt that Owens gave him.
Finish him! Fatality.
If you ever make it to the WWE, one thing you should never do is piss off the chairman.
I apologize, you son of a bitch!
And Titus ONeill did exactly that. Seconds before Monday Night Raw was going off air after an emotional retirement speech from Daniel Bryan, Titus ONeill thought it would be a smart idea to jokingly grab Vince McMahon's arm saying ladies first, to allow Stephanie McMahon to exit the stage first. However, Vince McMahon wasn't amused in the slightest and shoved ONeill back. I don't know what Titus ONeill was thinking, but laying your hands on the chairman is effectively career suicide. Well, except if your name is
John Cena!
I guess you could say that Titus ONeill finally got a push from this.
Banter.
In all seriousness, ONeill was suspended for 60 days and was even fined around $5,000 for his actions. Since the incident, things haven't been working out too great for ONeill as far as championship accomplishments.
Oh gosh. Hold up! No!
But I guess he's too busy managing Titus Worldwide. Sorry.
Titus Worldwide!
It is well known that Kurt Angle won an Olympic gold medal with a broken freaking neck. However, in a segment on SmackDown on the 4th of November 2004, Angle nearly ended up with a broken freaking arm at the hands of Daniel Puder. During the segment, Angle challenged contestants of the WWE reality show Tough Enough to a shoot wrestling match. After Angle defeated one challenger, another one stepped up to the plate, mixed martial artist and Season 4 Tough Enough winner Daniel Puder. The two tussled with one another before Angle brought Puder down. However, in the process, Puder locked Angle in a Kimura lock. Most MMA fighters would have tapped out at this point. But this is Angle we're talking about. And did you know, he won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck? If I haven't mentioned that already, of course. Besides, Angle, who, as we've already established, won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck, couldn't tap, as that would have tarnished his reputation as an amateur wrestler. Thinking quickly on his feet, referee Jim Corderas quickly awarded Angle with a pinfall victory, despite Puder's shoulders not being fully down, saving Angle from humiliation, and a broken arm of course. As you can imagine, Angle was not too happy about what happened.
Puder eliminated by the Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle.
In fact, he was furious. Although Pewter went on to win Tough Enough Season 4, he was released from the WWE shortly afterwards, but not before he was destroyed in the 2005 Royal Rumble. Most likely as punishment for what he did to Angle. Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, and Hardcore Holly just straight up victimized Pewter in the ring, and each of them took turns to deliver many nasty chops to his chest. Just listen to the sounds of those chops.
Pewter's like, oh man! And there's every man for himself. JR, I think that one knocked his areola off.
Ouch. The storyline between Mickie James and Trish Stratus was one to remember, as we saw James gradually progress from being Stratus's biggest fan to an obsessed stalker of Stratus. Their feud eventually culminated in a match at WrestleMania 22 for the WWE Women's Championship, which James went on to win from Stratus, but not before she made a provocative gesture that got her in a lot of trouble. During the match, James grabbed Stratus's pussy and then proceeded to make a vulgar gesture by licking her fingers. Yeah, okay, sure. That would be a straight up trip to demonetization. It will probably get demonetized anyway, just like the rest of our videos, but you know. Following the match, James headed through the curtain backstage to find an irate Vince McMahon, who scolded her for the unscripted gesture she made. Due to the highly sexual nature of the gesture, it was edited out of the DVD releases, but thanks to the power of the internet, the original unedited version is still available for us to enjoy, watch and study for media reasons. The MSG curtain call incident in 1996 forever changed the landscape of professional wrestling in terms of kayfabe, when kayfabe was actually a thing back then.
I'm not finished with you!
Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were set to leave the WWE to go to the WWE's biggest rival at the time, WCW. But before they did, they wrestled their last WWE matches at a live event in Madison Square Garden. The closing match of the night saw then WWF World Heavyweight Champion Shawn Michaels defeat Kevin Nash in a steel cage match. Immediately after the match, Michaels, Hall, Nash, and Triple H group hugged in the ring, which was very unusual to see back then, baby faces and heels embracing one another. I can imagine Vince McMahon looked on like this. With Nash and Hall leaving the WWE and Michaels being the world champion, Triple H was solely punished and his big push and scheduled King of the Ring 1996 win were taken away from him. But maybe it was a blessing in disguise, as instead the push went to Stone Cold Steve Austin, who went on to win King of the Ring in 1996 and delivered the iconic Austin 316 promo.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
The incident certainly did not affect Triple H in the long term, as he went on to become a 14-time world champion. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please show your support by leaving a like and sharing this video, as it really does help us a lot. Don't forget to comment below too, and we will pin up the best comment. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a video from us. Lastly, for daily wrestling facts and more, follow all of our social media accounts, which are on screen and in the description. Thanks, and until the next video.